talk about the games happened on Wednesday. Tuesday had a lot of games. Wednesday also a lot of games. The first game is the Milwaukee Bucks lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers 99-115. Impressive win by the Cavaliers. 16-point win at home for the Bucks. Chris Middleton 21 4 and 4 with 3 threes in alright game. Giannis struggled a little bit with 7 turnovers, but the efficiency was more than fine. 11 for 12 from the free throw line. Every once in a while, you're going to get that game from Giannis. And on the season, I think Giannis is shooting. Just give me 1 second. Let's see what his shooting, his free throws on the season is. 20th ranked player, shooting 72% on 11 attempts. Those 11 attempts is one of the highest in the league, other than Joel Embiid. I think he's second highest. Yeah, second highest. 72% obviously is not great, and the volume you have to pound free throws with him. Bobby Portis, good game. Not a double-double. 22 points, 7 rebounds. Continues to be very strong. His rebounding has been very, very strong all season. And the scoring is there as well. If he can bring some defensive stats, that will improve his rankings by a lot. Pat Connaughton got the start, hit 3 threes. Sure, if he's going to start, Allen got suspended for one game. Let's see if what happens next game. But I don't think Pat Connaughton has too much value. And Drew Holiday, horrible game honestly against the Cavaliers. 7 assists, 6 rebounds is okay, but and a block. Everything else is really bad. And Dante DiVincenzo is interesting. Without Jarrett Allen, he got 28 minutes, had 2 steals. If he can get consistent 25 to 30 minutes, we could stream him for steals. But that's all he does, really. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, Darius Garland, because the game wasn't close, he scored 19 points, 8 assists, and a steal with 3 threes. Isaiah Okoro played okay, provided 1 steal and 1 block. If you're desperate for some defensive stats, sure, you could stream him, especially if the Cavaliers got a good schedule. Jarrett Allen was questionable. He ended up playing against the Giannis and Bobby Portis. The front court size is pretty crazy here. Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley versus Giannis and Bobby Portis. So he shot 4 for 9 from the field, still a double-double, and Evan Mobley had 2 blocks. He's fallen off quite a bit. This game, bad efficiency, and had 2 blocks, which is nice. Wanted to see him do more. And it was the bench that really helped them seal the win this game. Sandy Osman and Kevin Love both played super well. Osman, we can't really trust it. This game he's playing well. He was playing well. That's why he got 34 minutes. Next game he could just play 20 and give you 5 points. Kevin Love is still a must roster. Just another strong game from Kevin Love in the last 2 weeks. It's crazy how good he's been. Well, last 2 weeks, sorry about that. 138th ranked player in 7 games, but he's averaging 14 points and 2.4 threes in just 22 minutes. Still, I think he's a must roster. In just 25 minutes a night. Amazingly, Kevin Love is doing it this year. This is why, over the years, we always draft this guy early and get hurt, because we know if he can play 30 minutes, he could be a top 20, top 30 player. Very, very unique. A really, really good rebounder. Doesn't get a lot of defensive stats, but huge free throw, threes, rebounds. Let's talk about the next game. What a game. Charlotte Hornets scored 158 points. There were no defense being played this game. And Kelly Oubre Jr., what a game. Gordon Hayward got placed into the health and safety protocol, so we could stream Kelly Oubre Jr. We could stream Cody Martin, who should also get a few minutes bump with Gordon Hayward out and starting. So we could take a look at those 2 guys. And this is what's going to happen with Kelly Oubre Jr. Playing in that offense. They run up and down, and he's got the green light. Whenever he plays, he's got the green light, especially coming off the bench. If you need rebound, if you need points, sure, you could stream him. And now that Gordon Hayward is out, same thing with Cody Martin, who played just 26 minutes, but because it was a blowout, otherwise he would hit 30. With Gordon Hayward out for a week, he could also have some really good value. Miles Bridges went 8 for 10, hit 3 threes in 28 minutes. Mason Plumlee, we could continue to stream him. He has more minutes over PJ Washington every game now. So if you are looking for a rebound and some defensive stats, you could have him. Everybody played well. Terry Rozier, they scored 158 points. Terry Rozier, great efficiency everywhere. Same thing with LaMelo Ball. One of his best games in a while. And he was a plus 45, while Terry Rozier was a plus 9. So it was the stretch where LaMelo Ball and Oubre Jr. carried them to a 32-point victory. But Pacers, come on guys, they really. Caris LeVert was in foul trouble, but there's really nothing. I don't know what's right now the rotation for this Pacers team. Sure, when Caris LeVert, Sabonis, and Malcolm Brogdon they all play, they're gonna get 30+ minutes. But when those guys don't play, Chris Duarte, we know he's gonna get the minutes. Gogo Badaze should be playing 30 minutes with Miles Turner out. So he's a must roster. But the rest of the guys like Justin Holiday, Torrey Craig, O'Shea Brissett, Dwayne Washington, Jeremy Lamb, all these guys, we don't know how many minutes they're gonna get. So it's hard. They got a good schedule. You could stream some of those guys, but it's hard to hold any one of them. Like Justin Holiday could be a good stream, but again, like this game because of the blowout, and he played just 23. But last couple of games he wasn't cracking like 30+ minutes. A lot of the times it was just 28 minutes a night for him. Let's talk about the next game. The LA Clippers beat the Orlando Magic after their crazy win over the Wizards, where they were down 30 points. Nicholas Batum was questionable coming in, played 22 minutes. He's fine to stream for some defensive stats. Terrence Mann got the start because Marcus Morris Sr. was out. To be honest, I don't think he's a good fantasy player. So I think, and like for example, if you want threes, you could stream Luke Kennard. You're gonna get 3 out of him. But for Terrence Mann, you just don't know what he's gonna give you, and whatever he gives you is not in huge volume either. Zubac and Isaiah Hartenstein. Interestingly, Isaiah Hartenstein played huge minutes versus the Wizards. This game played just 18-19. If Isaiah Hartenstein ever gets 25 minutes tonight, he's a must roster. For now, it's not the case. Amir Coffey played well again, but the last game he also played well, had 29 points. But it was against the Wizards. It was against the Magic. So if you can package him in any deal, do a 2-for-1, try to get a top 50 player, you do it. Because when Reggie Jackson played, when Marcus Morris Sr. plays, when Paul George returns, even if those guys don't return, right, he's still not going to give you this level of production. In the last 2 weeks, he's the 50th ranked player. So do a 2-for-1, try to see if you can get any top 50 player back. It's obviously not sustainable. Reggie Jackson, just 18 minutes. So Reggie Jackson is not. Ty Lue would just say, hey Reggie, you're not playing well. You're not playing high minutes. Play just 18 minutes here, which is surprising. While Luke Kennard got 31. If you want some threes, right now Luke Kennard is a really good option. You could stream him for some threes. For the Magic, Franz Wagner, really good game, even though they lost. Really good efficiency with 9 assists. Also huge, 2 steals, 21 points. He's the only guy on this team has been healthy all year, been giving up consistent production. But anytime he plays, if he's inside top 50 in 2-week period, you try to sell him. Do a 2-for-1. Wendell Carter Jr. struggled with 6 fouls and 3 turnovers, but the rebound is solid. Efficiencies is really not solid. Mo Bamba, 26 minutes, had a block. Sure, it's all about the blocks with Mo Bamba. If he can continue average 2 blocks, he will be a top 50 player easily. Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs, both guys playing. Cole Anthony played well. A double-double, 11 assists, 2 steals, and a block. I realized that versus the Clippers, they do give away a lot of steals and blocks. Meaning, if you are the opponent, you get a bunch of steals and blocks. This is one thing I noticed. Jalen sucks. Also, okay, he's a must roster at the moment. Who knows when Markel Fultz is coming back? We don't know. And Gary Harris now, he's coming off the bench, playing 31 minutes. The fact that he's coming off the bench now, I'm not too high on him. So if you got him, you can move on from him, to be honest. Even though he's still got 31 minutes. Chuma Okiki with Mo Bamba and Wendell Carter Jr. playing, he's not going to get 30 plus minutes, so we could also move on from him. But if one of them ever get hurt, we should pick him up for rebound and defensive stats. Let's go to the next game. The Sacramento Kings is just a mess right now, 104-121. And they're going nowhere. Maybe there will be some rotational changes once they are truly out of the play-ins. Well, they're the 13th seed. They are 3 games behind the 10th seed, so technically it's possible they can make it the 10th seed. And they're 2-8 in the last 10. De'Aaron Fox missed the game, so Tyrese Halliburton played okay, not the best game. Struggled from the field, 7 assists, 2 steals and block, but the rest of the line is still very solid. 7 assists, 2 steals and a block. Can't complain if you're a fantasy owner. De'Aaron Mitchell got the start. Okay, so this game Terrence Davis was out, De'Aaron Fox was out. If those guys continue to be out, we could stream De'Aaron Mitchell. The efficiency, the field goal especially is going to be rough, but he could give you a good source of points, threes, and assists. Rashawn Holmes, another great game. He was a huge buy low coming into maybe this week because he hasn't played a lot, and whenever he played, there was also some weird things going on. So finally, he's back and healthy, playing 4 minutes, 2 steals and 2 blocks, really good here with good efficiency. Marvin Bagley not really interested. And Harrison Barnes finally had a great game. If he continues to play like this, try to sell him, do a 2-for-1. Beginning of the season, he was great. He was very quiet in the last 20 games or so. Finally a good game here, but 11 for 12 on the free throw is actually huge. But let's not worry about it. Try to sell him actually. Buddy Hield had 1-3, 8 points. Sure, still a hold. Been getting 30 minutes. I was worried about him for a little while, where he was getting like less than 20 minutes. But now it looks like the minutes is around 30 minutes, so it's good. He's a must roster. For the Atlanta Hawks, DeAndre Hunter played 17 minutes, had some foul trouble, so still hold on to him. Now that Cam Reddish is out of the way, he should have some good value. John Collins, it was a blowout, so nobody played over 25 minutes. Now the starters did. John Collins, 2 steals and a block is nice, but let's just see. Let's wait and see if there's going to be any trade going on with this Atlanta Hawks team. John Collins clearly is not happy with their usage, and he's not getting the stat. I think his contract is... Did he sign a contract? I don't think he did, right? So he's looking for that max. Is Atlanta going to give it to him? We don't know. Clint Capella played just 21 minutes. Sure, it was a blowout. Not the best game from him. And Trae Young. A double-double in 24 minutes is great. And most importantly, the 4 steals. If Trae Young can get more steals, and it was a surprise when I saw his rankings. In category leagues, he's the 11th ranked player. Super impressive. 27.7 points. If you draft this guy in the mid second round, giving you great value, and he's played 43 games this season, so he barely missed any games. Overall, just great front trade this year. Kevin Huerter, well, Bogdanovic came back this game, played well, so we could look to pick up Bogdanovic, just see where things go. I think eventually he's gonna start, but how well is he gonna play? He could be like a 90, like kind of like a Fred Wagner type of player, maybe with worse efficiency. But let's see how he plays. And now he's back, but he could very well play 2 games and be out again. Gallinari also came back, had 9 rebounds and 7 assists in 23 minutes. So, the Atlanta Hawks got most of their guys back, at this point. Okongwu still got 20 minutes, which is great, but, as long as Clint Capella is healthy, he's not going to get huge minutes. That's just the way it is. But if anybody gets traded, he could potentially be a must roster. All right, let's go to the next game. Another blowout. The New York Knicks lost to the Miami Heat 96-110. RJ Barrett, 17 points. I mean, he scored over 15 points in how many games now? His scoring average is very, very solid. 2 for 4 from the free throw line. Again, bad free throw, but still good. Randall continues to be bad. 11 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. At this point, if you go buy low on Randall, you gotta be careful. I don't think if you want to throw like a top 40, 50, like if you throw him a Brandon Ingram for Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram might be better than Randall. So you gotta think about it. When you buy low, you gotta buy really low. Like I would be okay, give him Franz Wagner plus Amir Coffee. You know, those are the things that, like 2 top 80, 90 players, or like 90 player plus somebody who's been playing really well. Like those are the type of trades. Because I don't know, Randall, something's wrong with him. Yeah. Mitchell Robinson played 30 minutes. Had a steal, 10 rebounds. That's fine. You know, he came back very quickly. And Nerlens as well. Would you know it? He was out again. So there's just certain players, they cannot play. They just play one game and be out. But Mitchell Robinson, obviously a must roster. Evan Fournier, let's drop him. Kemba Walker, let's drop him. Alec Burks is actually the guy that I'm gonna think twice before I drop. But for Kemba, Evan Fournier, I don't think I would think too much before dropping them. The Knicks guards and D-Rose is gonna be back. There's really no reason to hold on to any of them. You know, Alec Burks also could be cut. Emmanuel Quickly is the one who played well to this game, 12 points, 7 assists, and 2 steals. But Knicks, believe it or not, you know, well, against Mitchell Robinson, but RJ has been their best fantasy player over the last 2 weeks. For the Miami Heat, Kyle Lowry is still out. As long as Kyle Lowry is out, Gabe Vincent, it would be good stream for some points, 3s, and assists. Had another okay game here, 5 assists and 2 steals and 8 points, 2 threes. Duncan Robinson has been, man, he was bad all year, and now Kyle Lowry's been out for a little while. He really picked it up. Hit 7 threes, 25 points, 5 fouls, really good. Tyler Hero came back, had 21 points. With Tyler Hero, it's all about the defensive stats. I know he's gonna score a bunch, grab some rebound and some assist. It's about the defensive stats. 6 for 7 from the free throw line is also great. Bam Adebayo. This is what we envision the Bam. Fine, like 6 points, I'm not worried about that. 8 rebound, 11 assists. So once Kyle Lowry comes back, how many assists is he gonna average? 5 assists? That's what he averaged over the years before Kyle Lowry got to Miami. That was one of his best fantasy asset is his assists. With Kyle Lowry out, the last couple of games, he's been getting a lot of assists. You know, let's check out his last 2 weeks. All games played without Kyle Lowry. He is the 27th ranked player. 15 points, 8 rebounds. 8 rebound is okay. I mean, he could be 10 rebound guy. 5.4 assists is what stands out. And 1.8 steals is a bit too high, and 1.4 blocks. Sure, he was blocking 0.3 blocks before he had the injury. If he can beat 1.2, 1.3, I think you'll be happy with that. Overall, I look at him as a top 30 player as well. So, but let's see what happens with his assists when Kyle Lowry does come back. So far, without him, he's been really good. Jimmy Butler, easy work in 29 minutes, 22 points, versus the Knicks. Jimmy Butler just decided to only miss 1 3 and 1 free throw. Everything else is pretty perfect. Easy win for the Miami Heat. The next game, the Denver Nuggets beat the Brooklyn Nets. Well, this game Harden was questionable coming in, and he just resting him for back-to-back purposes. I understand that because they're just playing him huge minutes, and his hammy issues. You don't want to put at this age. You don't want to pull your hammy again. Chris Paul is the example that I could think of. A couple years ago in Houston, he always had hammy issues, and then when he went to Oklahoma City, this is 3rd year now. He's just been super healthy. I don't know what juice he's been taking, but super good. So of course, Denver. I'm surprised they only won by 6. Jokic 35 minutes, easy work. I mean, just put up pretty just solid lines every night. And Will Barton decided to take 20 field goals. That's fine. Had a really good game against I don't know, a bunch of G Leaguers on the Nets. And Will Barton, like if he continue to play like this, try to sell him for a top 50 player, or do a 2-for-1, try to sell him for a top 50 player. Jeff Green, Eric Gordon, none of them play well. Both guys are getting huge minutes on this team and opportunities. Not really doing much. And Monty Morris, another boring game from him. 10 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds and a steal. I mean, every single game he's gonna give you 10 points and 4 assists. But you never see him going out for 30, and very rarely you see him have a really bad game as well. Facu Campazzo played 20 minutes, had 6 assists and a steal. DeBuckus Cousins played 30 minutes. He's a huge per minute guy, 13 points. But the rest of the Denver guys, nobody really that interested. I'm not really interested. They got a lot of good fantasy players. I know Jeremy Grant, a couple years ago on Denver Nuggets, he was good. Who come off the bench, put up great numbers. For the Brooklyn Nets, okay, this game. Harden should be back Saturday, and it was an away game, so Kyrie should also be back. But Patty Mills, in the short term, could still have some solid value. 21 points with 4 threes here. Eldridge played 33 minutes, 18 and 8. But with Eldridge, you just don't know how many minutes he's gonna play. He's not gonna play. He's not gonna play 30 minutes every night. Some nights he's gonna come off the bench. Some nights he's only gonna play 15 minutes. Up against certain matchups. So anytime he plays well, I would really try to sell Eldridge, Kessler Edwards, and James Johnson. Kessler Edwards been getting huge minutes, but he's really not great in fantasy. So not really interested in him. This Nets team, man, Cam Thomas, I thought after KD went down, he would get a few more minutes, but he's like their only offense this game. 25 points is huge with 4 threes, but once Kyrie and Harden come back, he's not gonna get huge minutes. Let's go to the next game. The Toronto Raptors 105 lost to the Bulls 105 at 111. And wow, OG only played 34 minutes, but Pascal Siakam played 43. I don't know. I feel like Siakam is gonna. I don't know. They might rest him at some point. He's played over 40 minutes, over 35. I mean, pretty much every game. OG, good. He only played 34. He doesn't need to play 40. Another great game from OG. Hit 3 threes, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. Very solid numbers across the board. 23 points. And Pascal Siakam, 3 steals again. He's just been getting a ridiculous amount of steals. Average 1.9 steals in the last 2 weeks, and on the season. I mean, he was not on the season 1.2. Okay. But over the years, he has never been a big steals guy. But I guess playing in the Raptors defensive system, you just get that many. 7 assists, 7 rebounds. I mean, all really, really solid. 6'9" from the free throw line is a bummer. Gary Trent Jr. went off. Glad to see him back. He was out for a long time for various of injuries and COVID. One of his best games in a while. 32 points, 6 threes. And also, he was obviously kind of like a buy low before because he just didn't play games. After games like this, maybe you could think about also sell him high, because his ranking so far this year has been pretty good. He's at top 50, I imagine. Gary Trent, yeah, he is the 43rd ranked player. But if you can get guys if you can get OG Anunoby for him, I would do it. I just don't know if he can average 1.8 steals. I think OG is going to get 1.6, 1.7, no problem. But I don't know if Gary Trent Jr. will continue to. He could be a 1.5 guy, yes, but I'm not sure if 1.8 or 2 is sustainable. Maybe it would. But try to do those trades. The guys ranked in the 40s, like Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Darius Garland, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, all these guys, like Jaren Jackson Jr., even Pascal Siakam, I would take before Gary Trent. So try to see if he can do any of those trades. Scotty Barnes also played this game. I think he was questionable. Had 7 assists is really nice. This is why I love Scotty, even though he does have efficiency issues. But he could provide everything on the court. Chris Boucher played 28 minutes again, had 2 blocks. On this Raptors team, because everybody plays such high minutes, somebody's always hurt. So he just finds a way to get minutes. For the Bulls, great win after their bad, quote unquote, bad game versus OKC last time around, where they were up 28, they only won by 1. Ayo Dosunmu must roster, 30 minutes. Didn't have the best game here, but the fact that he's getting 38 minutes and Kobe White only got 24, that makes him a must roster. Zach LaVine had a great game, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and a steal, 22 points. Vucevic, huge game, 15 rebounds, 8 assists, and shot the ball well. Would you look at that? And had 5 fouls. The Bulls fouled a lot this game. DeRozan came back, had 4 fouls, 29. Oh wow, I forgot. It was DeRozan's revenge game versus his former team. Also, very, very solid efficiency, and that's a lot of majority of his value come from is his efficiency. Great game. Good to see him back. Javonte Graham is really not fantasy relevant. And Kobe White, I think I want to still hold on to him. Play just 24 minutes, but next game he could play 30. It's just one game. All right, let's go to the next game. The Grizzlies, they just cannot stop winning. Another win versus the Spurs. Not that, it doesn't mean much, but still. Ja Morant, 28 field goals, man. He's just. I feel like he takes too many. The Grizzlies got a lot of weapons on this team, to be honest. Desmond Bane coming, and Desmond Bane, he was out COVID protocol. He came back fairly quickly. Just look at that man's body is a work of art. He's built like a truck. 33 minutes, first game back, had 20 points. I feel good about him as long as Dillon Brooks is out. And even when Dillon Brooks comes back, I think he's still doing. He's gonna take a usage hit, but the minutes is still there, and he's gonna do the other stuff. Like he's been getting defensive stats, he's been grabbing rebound, so all those should still be fine. But without Dillon Brooks, he's a top 50 player, and I feel good about him be inside that top 50. Ja Morant, 41 points, yes, good stuff from Ja, and also a sell high, like. I think he's going to run out of gas at some point. Ja on the season, 31st ranked player. So if you can get like a top 30 player, try to. Devin Booker is also, I feel overperforming a little bit. If you can Ja Morant for Anthony Edwards, that's something that I feel very comfortable doing. You're obviously going to lose out a little bit of assist, but everything else, Anthony Edwards, I think does it better. Sorry. Steven Adams played 28. Him and Brandon Clark, they are sharing, majority of the center minutes. Now of the guys are must roster, but if Steven Adams is out, we could pick up Brandon Clark because he can provide a bit of everything. Jaren Jackson Jr., another good game. 22 points. 3 for 7 from the free throw line is not, he does that sometimes. Like one game he will go like 10 for 11 from the free throw line. The next game he goes 3 for 7. That's fine. Overall, he's around 80%. I would take it. And most importantly, 6 blocks again. He's been blocking so many shots. In the last 2 weeks, he's got to be the shot blocker leader. Over the last month, I would say, last 2 weeks, 3.6 blocks. Crazy. He's just been blocking so many shots. I don't know. Well, I don't know what's changed. He just, I thought first is that, because Steven Adams was out, Jaren Jackson Jr. was playing at the center. That's why he got more blocks. But this game, he was playing alongside Steven Adams. Still got 6 blocks. Crazy. Another monster is DeAnthony Melton. Played 24 minutes. Sure, if he gets 24 minutes tonight, not a bad idea to just have him. For the Spurs, Keldon Johnson had a good game. 4 threes, 2 steals and a block, 18 points. Sure. You could have him. Jacob Poeltl, what a game. What a game from Poeltl. Perfect from the field. 2 steals, 4 blocks, 18 points, 7 rebounds. What a monster game from Poeltl. But in category leagues with Poeltl, you got to think about punting a bunch of categories. 3s, free throws, all that. Derek White also played okay, provided a bit of everything, and DeJounte Murray struggled a little bit efficiency-wise, as he always does, but the counting stats, super, super solid. And Devin Vassell, 30 minutes played. Devin Vassell, like his minutes is in the 25 to 30s. I think it's fine to have, because the defensive stats and the rebound. On the season, let's check out where Devin Vassell is. Per game basis wise, he's just 125th ranked player. Playing just 25 minutes, but he gets steals, he gets blocks. I just want to see him push his minutes up a little bit. For now, it could really go either way. If there's a better guy out there on the waiver wire, sure. Like if Herbert Jones is out there on the waiver wire, you could pick him up. But if Herbert Jones is not, Devin Vassell is not a bad guy to own, in my opinion. Let's go to the next game. Phoenix Suns versus the Jazz again. Beat them again, and Booker had 43 points. But the Jazz, they did not have Rudy Gobert, and they did not have Donovan Mitchell. Their two best players. Both games, they played them on Monday. It was a close win as well, so that's interesting. Mikal Bridges played 45 minutes. My God, probably because Jay Crowder is out. But he didn't really do much. Cameron Johnson, with Jay Crowder out, he's a must roster. So let's get him. 2 threes, 8 points, a steal and a block. Pretty solid. I like Cameron Johnson a lot. Perfect for the Phoenix Suns as well, I think. Bismack Biyombo got the start. Sure, like as long as DeAndre Ayton is out, he's been questionable for 2 weeks. When is he coming back? But yeah, we gotta have him. Devin Booker also went off 43 points. I don't know what's going on with Booker. The last 2 weeks, he had a 50-point game, something like that. Last game, he had like 17 points in the first quarter. He took 28 field goals as well. I don't know what it is. Are they trying to get into the All-Star game? Is that what it is? Why is he's just been going off every game now, and he's taking so many shots and usage. I don't know. I gotta check the All-Star voting. Maybe it's because of that. And Chris Paul, uncharacteristically, Chris Paul had like 27 points on Monday and 21 points here, and only 5 assists. What's going on with Chris Paul? Thought he's an assist specialist. He's trying to set teammate up, but he took 17 field goals here as well. So there's some weird stuff going on with Devin Booker and Chris Paul. They just decided to both have combined. They took 45 field goals. That's 60% of the entire team. It's 2 people. So interesting stuff from the Suns, but they got the win, so it's all good. For the Jazz, Bogdanovic, without Donovan Mitchell, you're supposed to take more usage. That didn't happen. 7 points and a steal. Royce O'Neal, solid numbers across the board. Always a guy you could stream. Hassan Whiteside, with Rudy Gobert out, Hassan Whiteside is a must roster. Block 2 shots and a steal, 11 rebounds. Sure, as long as Rudy is out, you gotta have him. Joe Ingles, you think Donovan Mitchell is out? Let's go stream Joe Ingles for some threes and assists. He's washed, so let's not worry about him. If you were streaming him, even if Donovan Mitchell continues to be out, I think you could do better. Mike Conley actually had a great game. 16 points and 10 assists, 5 for 5 on the free throw line. At this point, Mike Conley, the only category he really give you is the assist. Everything else is really very average on the season. Let's check out where Mike is. His ranking is actually not bad, right next to Bradley Beal. Would you believe that? 63rd ranked player. 14 points. Sure, I mean, that's not amazing. 2.4 threes is good. But most importantly is the 5.3 assist. And 1.1 steal is also okay. Doesn't really turn the ball over, 1.6. Good free throw and okay field goal. That put him 63rd. That just tells you how mainly just 2 categories, the threes and the assist. But again, the assist, even though Uh, it doesn't seem much, 5.3, but you just don't find guys like that on the waiver wire. You just don't. So if you make a trade to trade away your assists, be careful, because if you trade away steals, for example, you could always get them on the waiver wire, right? Because there's just so many guys out there that can get you 1.2, 1.3 steals. But 5 assists, I don't think there's any guy. Maybe Rondo is out there, and that's not even, he doesn't even play 20 minutes in that. Jordan Clarkson also played well, 26 points, a steal, 6 threes. Overall, very good stuff from Jordan Clarkson, as long as Donovan Mitchell is out, you know. All right, let's talk about the last game. The Dallas Mavericks beat the Portland Trailblazers. Shouldn't be a surprise. Easy win for them. And Luka still played 37 minutes. Another triple-double for Luka. And here comes the bad free throw, 5 for 8. But you have to know. 2 threes, sure. You know, I would take it. Jalen Brunson, 11 assists, 20 points is still great. I mean, he's still putting up great numbers. But let's check out last 2 weeks what he has made. Wow, he's actually been good. 51st ranked player in the last 2 weeks. 15 points, 5.5 assists. Even with Luka back, that's pretty impressive. And 1.5 steals. That is actually pretty impressive. Because Jalen Brunson was never a good steals guy. If he can keep it up, that would really help his value. Kristaps Porzingis had 5 fouls. He's been in foul trouble a lot. I don't know what's going on. But hey, 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 3. I don't think we could complain too much with that stat line in 27 minutes. With Tim Hardaway Jr. out for the year, maybe you could potentially look at Maxi Kleber, but he still only just played 27 minutes. Had 1 steal and 3 blocks. So that looks great until you see they're playing Portland. So if you're playing some bad teams, you're putting up great offensive numbers or putting up great defensive numbers, it don't really mean much. But Maxi Kleber could give us some solid enough blocks, so we could look at him. Dorian Finney-Smith had 2 threes, solid enough. He's like a better version of Royce O'Neal. You could have him. He's gonna give you a little bit of everything. Not a huge volume, of course. For the Portland Trailblazers, news came out. Couple guys out. Nasser Little, we don't know when he's coming back, right? Just injury-riddled team. My God, Cody Zeller was out on this team, had his own thing, and now that Robert Covington is also out, right? Robert Covington, what is his issue? What is his name? Right knee, had an MCL sprain. So he could be out for a week or 2. We don't know. But like Robert Covington, you could still have him. Larry Nance Jr. should also be back in a week or 2. Both guys, I think. Nurkic is going to be better than both of them, but and CJ, of course, and also now there are Fernie Simons. They all could potentially be top 50, 60. But I think Robert Covington and Larry Nance Jr. they both could be potentially top 50. Well, Robert Covington already is. He's shown it with all the guys out. Larry Nance Jr. is another guy that have top 50 upside if given the opportunity. Let's say he played 30 minutes a night. So let's see what happens with Portland. Especially they're not going anywhere, I don't think. So some of the young guys is gonna get an opportunity. It's especially Fernie Simons. But like with Norman Powell and CJ Laron, I don't see him having like a crazy high usage. He took 14 field goals this game. 23 points is really nice, but he only took 14 field goals. So if next game he only makes 5, then it's like 13, 14 points. 7 assists is still very nice for 3s. CJ, 6 assists, 20 points. Sure. Yusuf Nurkic, 4 for 7 from the free throw line. What's going on there? Rest of the line looked okay. I expect him to also have a big finish. Tony Snell came in on really interesting, and Norman Powell also. He's going to be a top 50 player. Every single year he finds a situation where he's the one healthy and getting a lot of usage, although he missed a bunch of games and went 7 for 12 on the free throw line. Inexplicably, a minus 25. It's just really horrible, but he'll be better than this. But I do see, I do see him be a top 50 player on this team. He's gonna average close to 20 points. Now that Damian Lillard is gonna be out, there's a small chance he could come back. I don't really see it. Or when he does come back, maybe it's not really fantasy relevant. It will be maybe like at the last week of the playoffs, fantasy playoffs, he comes back. So that's the one situation that I see. All right, that's it for all the games, guys. I'll see you later.